Hey guys, how you doing? Are you still there? Okay, don't sleep on me now. I know you could be tired, but don't sleep on me now. Let's keep going. We're almost there. We're almost done with this series. Let's just keep pushing. All right. So our next game is between Tal again, but this time he's playing against a guy called Gudmundsson. This game was played in 1964. Okay, Tal was playing white against Gudmundsson in 1964. Nothing has changed. We're still with our Lopez, just different ideas. So all right, so what does Gudmundsson play? He plays d5, very unusual move. Look at that center, guys. It's on the brink of an explosion here. Anything can happen here. Most probably this game is going to end up as an open center, I think. White cannot escape the exchanges that about to occur here. All right, so let's see how Tal continued. Captures. Already we have an open center. So Tal goes knight g3. That's a big piece. Gudmundsson, bishop to d6, pressure on the knight. Tal defense. That's a big piece from Tal. Rook c1, threatening to discover by moving the bishop out of the rook's way. All right, so by moving the bishop, this will leave the queen under attack. Queen goes to b6. It moves out of the way of the rook. It wins a pawn, and white is a pawn up, and what we have here is an open center. So we must expect more of piece play, big piece play, than pawns. Queen b7, attacking the rook. Goes back. Knight c4. Queen to g4. All right, so let us take a look at this position. Interesting, isn't it? Why did Tal play queen to g4? Could black not capture the pawn on b2? Let us just take a minute, guys, just to think about this. I wasn't going to look at it, but I'm just curious. Why didn't black capture the pawn on b2? Why did he not capture? Why did he not capture? This, that, and that. Check. And then king moves. Why? Was there any big threat here? Okay, guys, I don't know here, but there's a few possibilities. Maybe knight takes. Now, I was thinking the first option would be to play bishop h6. All right, I don't know what black would play. Maybe he would play bishop to g7, f8. It's a possibility. Or g6, but g6 I don't think it's a good one, because maybe queen followed by queen f6. All right, or queen by queen f6 still. All right, but you know, as you get better in chess, there's just some moves you feel, even if you don't have the direct path to win, it just feels wrong. You know, putting your knight far away like this, it just does feel wrong. And besides, white was a pawn up. I think it's worth the risk. Black can go for that pawn. It's okay. I mean, here we've got some possibilities. After here, we could even try knight c6. All these are possible moves. I think it's just too risky for a black to play. Like knight c6 now, we are threatening to capture the rook. He might have to play here in this capture. Even queen e4 is possible, threatening e4 and also threatening knight e7. It's just a whole lot here. Like for example, if queen is to come here, we are threatening a checkmate down. And not just that, we also threatening knight e7. I'm not saying that is how it was going to happen, but I'm just trying to show you how difficult a position black has. Because here now you're threatening knight e7 followed by capture. Okay, so even if rook is to move here, still I think check is winning. Okay, because now you're threatening the capture. If he captures, you capture the rook. I don't know, there's just a lot of possibilities here, but I think all of them are favoring, they favor white. So if I was the one playing black, I wouldn't even go for that pawn as well. I would try to maybe make sure that my king is safe. All right, but already this is bad for black because already the pawn down. So let us see how the game continued. Rook to c8, bishop to g5. Every move must be a threat. Every move must be a threat. He captures, pawn captures. Now white is threatening two things: the rook on d8 and the pawn and the bishop on d6. And don't you forget, white is a pawn up. So what does black play? He plays rook takes, captures, and black plays bishop e7. All right, running away with the bishop and then preventing this bishop from capturing the rook. All right, so it's offering an exchange. How does Tal continue? Bishop f6, captures, forced, threatening queen h6. All right, with an unstoppable checkmate. So queen b6. Now queen h6 is not good anymore, saying queen will capture the pawn on f6. So what did white play? Rook to c7, h5, g3, queen, rook. That's a nice move there. Now, on the first glance, you might think white has made a mistake. Okay, at least I thought that white had made a mistake. I thought black should have continued check. Then black wins the rook. But no, I was wrong, because after queen h6, again, the mate is unstoppable. White wins the game. All right, so let us go back, which means rook c8 was actually a very good move. Black cannot capture. It's not a good move, because after capturing, white would start with rook takes, rook check, followed by this, and that's clearly winning for white. Okay, so queen d6, rook c8, king h7, rook capture, and white plays queen e5, threatening to move to e7, such that if black was to move his queen to d5, queen to f8, again the checkmate is unstoppable on g7. What am I saying? So, for example, that. Okay, and black is in big problems. So that's exactly what white was threatening with queen e5. Black played queen c8. White still played a queen to e7, king h2, exchange. g4, still white is maintaining his pawn advantage. Then he played a king to g. All right, so this g5, it looks like, with this move g5, it looks like black is back from the dead. It's just rose up. Why? Because it looks like after king f7, black is going to be able to capture the pawn on f6 and probably save the game. But not so. Actually, black is going to be in a difficult position. I think the endgame specialist would call it opposition. Opposition is a situation whereby you will have to make a move, and you run out of like squares to move to, and you'll have to move away from certain squares, which will make your opponent just take control of the key squares. All right, I'll just try to show you now what happened here. So here, okay, so in this position again, black is gonna run out of moves. He's gonna start to create squares for white to control. For instance, if black was to play pawn to b4, white would most probably play b3, a5, then f3, then black is slowly running out of moves. He pushes a5, king to d5, and that's opposition. White has to run away from, black has to run away from his pawn, his e5 pawn, and is clearly losing the game. All right, let's move back a little. Or if black is to move maybe king, I think even king here might also lead to disaster for black, because it's not easy for black to penetrate here, to pass through here. All right, so in short, this endgame is clearly winning for white. Black did not want to waste time, and they resigned in this position. All right, sorry, they did not go that far. After king takes king e4, black resigned. Again, guys, you notice that this center that we came across here was an open center, and Tal had to focus on the big pieces. A recap of the open center. Let's go back. All right, so we have an open center, capture, capture. And from here onwards, you will see that the players were focusing mainly on the movement of the big pieces. Watch. So black plays queen, that's a big piece, big piece. There we go. Queen, big piece, big piece. That's a big piece. Well, they had to play pawn captures. All right. This is kind of forced. That's a big piece, big, big. Here we go. Has to do that. Rook c7, big piece. All right, and this position was clearly better for white. But what I wanted you just to focus mainly was on the movement of the big pieces. Guys, I hope you're getting this, and I hope you're still intact and still grooved on this. You know, I don't want you guys to get tired. Let us finish the whole series of this positional judgment. So we are done with this game. In our next segment, I'm just thinking, I've been showing you games of these great grandmasters, Mikhail Tal, Matanovich, Bronstein, Petrosian, all these are great chess players. But you might be wondering, wherever you are, like, okay, can we also see some of your games, Robert, where you are applying the principles and the principles are working for you? All right, so for our next segment, I'm going to try and show you guys maybe 2 of my games where I'm also applying the same principles, just to prove to you guys that these principles really do work. All right, so till our next game, our following game, guys, stay tuned in.